Hello and welcome back to the Appian Community YouTube channel. I'm Kate Bonifaz, product evangelist and your host today from Appian. Today we're here to learn about the hackathon and Appian-based internship program at Guild Mortgage. If you are new to this channel, we welcome you. This channel is dedicated to helping you become the best developer you can be, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss any updates. I have three very special guests today joining me from sunny San Diego, California, to give their perspectives on the hackathon and everything that led up to it. I'll be monitoring the chat throughout the stream, so if you have any questions, we can make sure to answer them. But before the interns come on, let's get some context into it all. Please help me in welcoming Kyle to the stream.
Hello, everyone. And first off, thank you, Kate and James, for having us. My name is Kyle McWhorter, and I'm a certified senior Appian developer at Guild Mortgage. And I originally interned with Guild as I was going into my senior year of college. And I quickly picked up Appian and was hired full-time after I graduated with an MIS degree. And now I support various applications in production and resolve bugs and implement new features.
Good to have you on, yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting to be here and tell you guys more about the internship program.
Yeah, so why don't you actually go into some of those details, like how long has Guild Mortgage been running a hackathon? What does it really entail? Maybe how it contributes to the intern experience, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the hackathon is actually just one segment of the internship program. And so this is the third annual hackathon and the third annual internship program that we've run at Guild. And what we do with the interns is we really want to get their as much exposure and their eyes on the production applications, get them familiar with Appian. I think one of the most valuable approaches that we took was to let them have conversations with product owners and discuss with the end users why Appian was such a good use case and how it has streamlined their workflows.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I guess my last follow-up question here. What advice would you give to like a company who wants to put on their own internship program with using Appian?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think as much hands on the keyboards as possible, get the interns really building their own applications and getting familiar with its capabilities. And like I said, the most value is really speaking with end users and really getting a good understanding of how Appian has really enhanced their workflows and make that work a lot more efficient for them.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, then without further ado, I'm going to bring on our interns. Please help us in welcoming Alex and Anosh. Hey guys.
Everyone.
Hey.
Awesome. Let's start off with maybe some introductions. So go ahead and tell me about yourselves. Yeah, your name, like maybe where you're studying, what you're studying, anything you want. Go ahead. I'll start with Anosh.
Thank you for having me on, Kate. So I currently am going into my junior year at San Diego State. I'm currently studying computer science, and I'm really excited to have been part of this Appian internship. And a fun fact about me is I can play chess blindfolded.
That is quite impressive. Okay, Alex,
Thank
I'm not asking you to top that, but yeah, give me something.
Yeah, I'm Alex. Again, one of the interns at Guild. I'm going into my fourth year at UC San Diego. I'm studying applied math and minoring in computer science. Fun fact, I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 45 seconds.
The both of those skills are quite impressive. I can't claim any of that, but very cool stuff. I mean, I know you guys are talking computer science, applied math. I have a physics background, so kind of similar, but by no means can I solve Rubik's Cube or play chess blindfolded. So that's awesome. I don't know if that goes in your resume, but definitely a fun fact to bring up. Okay, cool. So let's then, before we go into any demos from either of you, let's just talk about your intern experience. So I'll ask a question and let either of you can pick it up, and then there is one question at the end that I want both of you to answer. But let's dive into my first question. So, what's your prior experience with platforms like Appian or Appian itself? Anyone want to answer that one?
I can answer that one.
Go ahead.
Actually, I have zero experience with any low-code platforms. So going into this internship and learning Appian has really been fun and like kind of opened my eyes towards low-code platforms and like what Appian can do. Because as a computer science minor, we work with more like Java, C++, those types of languages. And so Appian just has like a lot more easy capabilities than those languages, and it's been pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
you.
I would like to ask you that. Oh, can I answer that real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember when I was choosing whether or not to take this internship, I remember asking one of my professors like what are their thoughts on Appian and low code, and they were just like, "What's low code?" Like it's just not. People just don't talk about it. They don't know enough about it. So it
Yeah.
really opened my eyes to low code.
Cool. Okay, that'll kind of tie into one of my questions later, but let me follow up too with this language learning. So you have a CS background, Anosh. So what
Yeah.
was your experience like learning Sail?
I think it was challenging at first, similar to like any programming language. The beginning process is the hardest part, but just using it more and more often really helps you just learn it better. I think it was pretty similar to any other coding language. In fact, it was easier with the drag and drop design components.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I definitely thought it was intuitive that like the documentation was at the bottom of the expression editor, so that yeah, if you didn't know something,
Yeah.
chance to, you could just scroll up and see what you needed. Cool.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, so we'll continue this line of thought with resources. Alex, did you have any resources that you liked during the process of learning?
So I actually used a lot of documentation in kind of the Appian community website. So whenever I had questions, I would just kind of look it up on that community website and see other people that were solving similar problems. So I used that to solve some bugs in my application. And then as well as the documentation, I thought it was pretty good. There were some nice examples showing some of the features and stuff like that. And yeah, those were two of the main pieces of information I used.
Okay, cool. Anosh, I'll pop back to you. What did you enjoy most about the hackathon?
I think I enjoyed what I enjoyed about the hackathon most is that it solved a problem that I personally had in a previous internship. I'll talk about that later. But in my past work experience, I've never been able to choose my own thing that I'm working on. It's very unique to this internship for me, so I really enjoyed that part.
That's a big motivator for sure. Okay, cool. Alex, similar question, but I want you to give me the most rewarding aspect of your internship.
Yeah, so I'd say like all the good feedback that I've received from everybody has been super rewarding. At the start of the internship, I was very nervous on presenting and demoing my application and doing those sorts of presentations. But afterwards, like receiving like good feedback from my peers was really valuable and rewarding to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, networking, no matter where you are, what you're doing, is always valuable. But especially, yeah, when you're in the midst of an internship, like just establishing those connections and learning from the best, right, is really great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and I had a lot of cool one-on-ones with some cool people at Guild, so that was definitely rewarding as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Anosh, what advice would you give to a fresh intern going into, an Appian-based program?
I would say that for the first couple weeks, things are going to be challenging. You're not going to really understand where to go in the website. Appian's pretty unique to other programming languages that I've used, because usually other programming languages is just one page or multiple pages of just writing code. But with Appian is much different. You have to navigate to the different parts of what you want to happen. So it just takes time. You just gotta get in the Appian website and just start making something, and that'll really push you along and work you through your journey in Appian.
For sure. And I know, Kyle, you briefly touched it a bit before, but the way these interns learned the product was through like mini projects ahead of the hackathon, right?
Yeah, that's correct. They had very few side projects, which one of them included a bug and feature request form for a existing production application. So that was actually their first project of their first week of the internship. We had them build, we had them build we were formerly using Google Forms. So we just had them build a very simple form in Appian, connected it to the site, and it's in production now. And they actually demoed it that first Friday. So they got really good, presenting experience and such.
Yeah. Wow. Congrats, guys. That's awesome.
Another key project that we had them do was creating end user guides. So as these new applications roll out, we need to make sure that if there's training material for any new onboarded employees. So that definitely gave them a good understanding of all the intricate parts, complex processes, everything that goes into an enterprise application. So I think that was really good exposure and visibility for them.
I definitely agree. And you spoke the words that, pluck my heartstrings. You mentioned training content. And before I was a product evangelist here at Appian, I was a technical instructor. So I would teach all the new hires how to use the product. So similar kind of thing. And I love, your approach of having mini projects where you just kind of hit the ground running. And, if you need to know something, you kind of figure it out, right? Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, then my last question, I'll go to both of you for this because I do want to hear your unique perspective, but I'll start with Alex again. How has Appian changed your outlook on your future career options?
So kind of similar to what Anosh said earlier about talking to his professor. Like I had not heard about low code and Appian, and it first started when I attended Appian World before my internship started. I had no expectations as to what I would be seeing, but I went out to Appian World, saw what Appian can do and how much easier it is to use than other languages. And it really kind of opened my eyes to what I can do with Appian as a future career. And at this point now, I'm planning on getting certified level 1. And making that job hunt as I am going into my last year of university. So that really opened my eyes to Appian. Yeah.
Cool. Anosh?
Yeah, my experience is pretty much the same as Alex. I did want to be before the internship, I was planning on either being a traditional software developer in normal coding languages like Java and Python, or I wanted to be a Swift iOS developer, which is apps on an iPhone. But Appian has definitely changed my outlook. I also, like Alex, am planning to get my L1 certification in Appian, and I do plan to continue working in this industry.
Okay, that's awesome to hear. Again, I'm biased, but I love to hear all of that. Okay, so I think we've gotten our little warm up. We now have a better picture of your experience in the internship program. So I would love to hop into kind of your demos, but first, before you demo, give a little broad overview of your use case, and then I want you to highlight the biggest functionality or maybe what you're most proud of. But I think Anosh, I'm going to start with you this time.
Okay. So let me take you through my story and why I chose this project first. So last year I was interning at a company called PPG, It's an engineering company in Los Angeles. And I had gone to a really, really big type of multi-company event with like thousands of people. And on that event day, me and my coworkers were extremely disorganized. We didn't know what events were taking place when, and it really created a bad experience for us. So I wanted to make an event organization app. So that's what I did. I will say, so in this application, organizers can create events, send invitations out. Invitees can accept the events. They can post reviews, sort of like almost like a Yelp system. And I'd say one of my favorite parts of my hackathon application are the different interfaces that I built myself. So over this course of this hackathon journey, a lot of it was helped by Appian developers such as Kyle right here, as well as Appian Solutions consultants, which are consultants from Appian itself that help us, as well as my boss, who's Sam. But one of the things that I personally did, pretty much at the start.
There we go. Perfect.
Pretty much at the start of the hackathon journey, pretty early on, and which is why I was most proud of it, is this frequently asked questions interface as well as the tutorial interface. I think I made these just by playing around in Appian and continuously improving it, and so that's why I think I'm the most proud of these two interfaces.
Cool. Kyle, do you want to jump in with any comments or questions?
Yeah, sure. So we did have a few, we had a rubric for the hackathon. So we were looking for various different functionalities for their apps. And Anosh, I'm curious, what type of automation did you utilize in your application?
Yeah, so in my application, when an organizer sends out invitations, it creates an automated smart service of an email that is sent out to all the different invitees. And I did use an HTML template to make the email look nicer. And so, or the invitees can just simply click the link and register through that email.
Cool. So I'll follow up on that one then. Appian, we like to say, we're all about orchestration and automation, right? But if you could do something after the fact, right? If you could add on to functionality to your application, how would you extend this automation capability?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's many different avenues to expand automation in this project. If I had known the rubric had automation, I definitely would have invested more into the automation of this application. I think I would probably focus more on the financial aspect of the events itself. So I would probably add a system for budgets and approval rating, where if an organizer submits a request for basically funding for an event, we would automate the process of shifting it to the higher up person to accept the funding request.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. All right. Well, thank you, Anosh, for your cool little demo and your thoughts. Alex, I'm going to hop over to you. Again, start with your use case, and then we'll go into displaying your app.
Yeah. So at the start of the internship, I was kind of stuck on what I was going to do for the hackathon. So I hopped on a call with Kyle, and we were talking through some ideas, and we kind of went on a side tangent about UAT testing. And he sends me this Excel spreadsheet where they document all the testing, and I open it up and I'm super confused. I'm just not sure what I'm looking at and how the actual UAT process works. And to give a little bit of context about UAT, that's user acceptance testing. So like a step in a software development cycle where the application is tested with the intended audience. So my goal was to kind of take that spreadsheet and turn it into an Appian application. which I know is a common use case for Appian, as we did something very similar with one of the applications we have in production now. That's the one we built that bug and feature request form for.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of context about my use case. In terms of my actual application, I think my favorite feature is that bug and feature request form. Here's actually what it looks like. It's
Cool.
my favorite because of the kind of the significance of it, and how it was like a turning point for us interns, like our first little dip into the Appian water. And we got to demo it too. So I'd say this is my favorite feature because of how cool it was to do at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Can you also show, like, you talked about it's supposed to help with user acceptance testing. So just click around and
Yeah.
show me, like how that would help.
Yeah, so here I have this like start new UAT phase button here where we can go ahead and add information about the UAT phase. And then from here after, we can then go ahead and add features that we want to test on in that UAT phase. So I can add multiple features here. And then once I add those features, I can then go ahead and assign specific tests to each of those features. So I can do multiple tests or just one test. And then I can also like assign those tests to whoever I want. So I can assign it to myself. I can assign it to my boss. Etc. And then when I create that testing phase, it sends an email out to those testers where they can then go ahead and click a link to go to their own custom homepage, which looks like this. They can then go ahead and perform those tests, pass them or fail them, and also add findings if they do fail that, which would then send an email to the Scrum Masters themselves, where they can then go ahead and resolve those findings within the application as well.
Very cool. Yeah, it looks really easy to use. I
Yeah.
myself, I love spreadsheets. Like, I'm sure Kyle, your spreadsheet is amazing, and like it has all the information you need. But this just, has a nice look and feel to it, and I do think it would make your users' lives a lot easier. Kyle, any comments, questions from you?
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I was just curious, Alex, what type of can you give an example of some pain points or how this app better replaces the current process of UAT?
Yeah, so when it comes to failed tests and findings, on that spreadsheet, when the testers would add findings, Kyle was not getting any sort of notification that there was a failed test. He would just have to keep checking in on that spreadsheet, so he didn't actually know when that was happening. So I built in a feature to email the Scrum Master when there are failed tests and when there are findings, so they don't have to, open up the app every time to check the status of the tests.
Yeah, I think that would definitely help, especially just as we're doing UAT. There's so many people involved, and if everyone's organized and on the same page, it'll go much quicker.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right. And anything else about your project? Do you have any aha moments?
I'd say in terms of all those email automation capabilities, at first I thought it would be really difficult to implement those features, but the process models, those smart services, they were actually a lot easier to work with than I expected. So that was kind of like an aha moment, like, this is actually a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, we need to let our product manager know that. Like, we like your feature. Good job. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, it's been so great to hear all of these experiences from you guys. And, maybe I'll take 1 second to, Kyle, you mentioned it earlier, but, you have helped curate these interns experiences through the hackathon and through the actual internship and projects and whatnot. But you yourself went through this as well previously, right? So I guess my kind of loaded question here is what opportunities were open for you, and what's your journey been like because of the hackathon or your experience with Guild Mortgage?
Yeah, that's a great question. So going into my senior year, I was an intern and really looking for, opportunities, and got open to Appian and the internship at Guild. So that ultimately led me to meeting more people that are involved with Appian and getting really good experience on, just from really good, like senior developers and architects and things. So I think that ultimately just opened many doors for me because I was able to, have like a good conversation with some of the mentors and, people that are like very high, like high up in their career and, journey with Appian. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think just like talking to those people opened a lot of doors for me and ultimately led me to keep pursuing it and see it as like a real career option for me.
Yeah, no, and that makes a chef's kiss perfect segue into my next bit. Uh, I know that earlier, Anosh and Alex, you talked about perhaps pursuing your certification, and I'm in fact repping my certification program shirt today. Uh, but for those in the audience who may be newer to Appian, let me talk a little bit about the program so you just know what's coming, right? We have a progressive developer track that goes from associate to senior to lead. And one great aspect of our certifications is that once you pass the exam, and as long as you do the quarterly maintenance training, it doesn't expire. We'll put a link in the chat so you can read up more about it. But again, the track is progressive, which means you two are going to be pursuing your Appian Associates developer exam. So in order to help you with this effort, and as thanks for sharing your experiences on this live stream, I am thrilled to present each of you with a voucher for taking the exam.
Ooh, yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank
Woo!
you.
Hey, love that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see any questions from the audience, so I will just wrap us up at this point. So thank you so much to all of our friends at Guild Mortgage. It was a really great experience to see your hackathon yesterday and then to be able to dig into that experience with all of you today. Thank you to all of you out there for joining us today. If you enjoyed the stream, please hit that like button, hit the notification bell, leave a comment to let us know. If you are interested in hosting your own Appian hackathon, or if you have any questions about the streams or ideas, future ideas for streams, right, drop a comment below, or alternatively, head over to our Appian community discussion boards to engage there. In terms of our next live streams, in September, I will be joined with Appian experts to talk about prompt engineering. I know, hot topic, with our AI tools. And I will also put another plug in for our UX design labs. UX design labs is where you can get live feedback from UX design experts at Appian. So submit your interface for a chance to be featured in a live review and ask questions directly to the experts. Or again, simply join us to learn from our experts as they provide live design feedback. And you're probably wondering, okay, Kate, when is that? Our first episode will be aired on October 17th, and it will focus on building information-dense dashboards and case summary UIs. So in order to participate, create an interface in Appian Community Edition and submit it using the form linked in the comments by October 4th. Alternatively, that link, that form is on community as well. So again, thank you all for attending. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.